The doctrine of a Heavenly Mother comes by revelation and is a distinctive belief among Latter-day Saints. President Dallin H. Oaks explained the importance of this truth. Our theology begins with heavenly parents. Our highest aspiration is to be like them. Very little has been revealed about Mother in Heaven, but what we do know is summarized in a gospel topic found in our gospel library application. Once you've read what's there, you'll know everything that I know about the subject. I wish I knew more.
That was LDS Apostle Dale G. Renlund talking about the extent of his knowledge about the Mormon doctrine of a Heavenly Mother. But maybe the wrong guy was speaking to this issue, because it seems that Dallin H. Oaks knows more. Let's set the scene. It's 10 a.m. on the outskirts of Ghent in Belgium. You arrive at church on a normal Sunday to discover that Dallin H. Oaks, the second in command of the Mormon Church, is there at your meeting house. This man is believed to be a prophet, seer, and revelator by you, a member of the church. You're excited because he's speaking in his official capacity as a prophet, seer, and revelator. You know that according to Russell M. Nelson, a prophet
speaks for God.
So against this backdrop, expecting to hear the word of God through Dallin H. Oaks, he gets up as the final speaker of the meeting and says this.
We are children of heavenly parents.
En we weten dat we kinderen zijn van hemelse ouders.
So we know that we have a heavenly mother or mothers.
En we weten dat we een hemelse moeder hebben of moeders.
But for reasons the Lord has not revealed, we do not know much about our heavenly mother.
So when Dale G. Renlund said,
Once you've read what's there, you'll know everything that I know about the subject.
Nowhere in that essay can I find any information about Heavenly Mothers. So maybe, if I've not missed anything, Dallin H. Oaks knows more about this topic than Dale G. Renlund, and maybe he should have given the talk about a topic on which so many women in the church are desperate for information clarity. Now, if one were being pedantic, one could argue Renlund said Heavenly Mother, so Dallin H. Oaks isn't revealing new information about her, but instead is speaking to the concept of plural Heavenly Mothers. No doubt some individuals will feel inclined to make such remarks in the comments section, but notwithstanding, Heavenly Mothers plural is something that we should explore further, and I think it raises an important question. Do members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints still believe in and practice polygamy? Yes, they do. Sort of. While the practice of polygamy in a temporal or physical sense ended in the early 1900s, becoming an excommunicatable offence, spiritual polygamy has never left the Mormon Church. D&C 132 has never been decanonized or disavowed, and the two highest ranking leaders of the Mormon Church are eternal polygamists, being sealed or married for eternity to two women. This is because Mormons believe that marriage is not just for this life, but can continue into the eternities through the proper enactment of certain sealing ordinances that are performed in temples. And when this is coupled with the concepts of deification as found in Mormon theology, we understand that Dallin H. Oaks and Russell M. Nelson will, according to that theology, father spirit children with those to whom they are eternally married or sealed. And if they are sealed to more than one woman, they will be practicing eternal spiritual polygamy. Dallin H. Oaks points to as much in a book he wrote called Life Lessons Learned. Speaking of his marriage to his second wife Kristen after his first wife June passed away, he said, "It was also important to both of us that Kristen felt comfortable about becoming a second wife. She understood the eternal doctrine of relationships. She was becoming part of an existing eternal family unit, and she has always been eager to honour and include June." He talks about needing his second wife Kristen to properly understand her role as a second wife, and indicates strongly he has no intention of giving up either marriage in the next life by stating Kristen will be joining an existing eternal family unit. This point is further backed up by the fact that when a couple divorces in the LDS Church, a woman must have her sealing to her previous husband cancelled in order to be sealed to another man. Women cannot be sealed to multiple men. If a divorced man is sealed to a new woman, his ex-wife can just remain sealed to him. So eternal polygamy is alive and well, and is set to be practiced by the two highest ranking leaders of the Mormon Church once they die. And here's something to think about. If you believe Joseph Smith created the God of Mormonism in his own image, then God is a polygamist in Mormon theology because Joseph Smith was a polygamist. However, if you believe polygamy is essential for salvation in the highest degree of the celestial kingdom because our eternal destiny is to become like God, then it's God who is the polygamist first and requiring others to be like him. After all,
as man now is, God once was, as God now is, man may become.
But moving on, these days whenever I talk about polygamy, I do my best to get a woman's perspective. And because she's had some really interesting hot takes on her Instagram, here's my friend Kate to tell you her thoughts on the evolving landscape of polygamy within Mormonism and why she thinks physical polygamy could be making a comeback.
So despite having an open canon and that the restoration is ongoing, D&C 132 has never been clarified, modified, or revoked. It threatens women who resist polygamy with destruction, and at the end it says that men do not need permission from their wives to practice it, and we still see that in the current sealing policies today. A lot of people have told me that I'm crazy for insinuating that they would ever bring back polygamy, and I get it. I get that that is a truly repulsive idea, because it is. And of course, they would lose a lot of their membership if they did do that, but first of all, even if they did lose a lot of their membership, they would likely blame it on the prophecy that in the last days, even the very elect would be deceived and the expected sorting of the wheat from the tares. And another reason that people have said it's kind of ridiculous to even think that they would ever bring it back is because a lot of leaders in the LDS Church and General Conference have been pushing to be more accepted by mainstream Christianity. And to that, I have to say, it really depends on the leader. It really, really depends on the leader. It doesn't seem to be a concern of Russell M. Nelson because, the big point of his ministry here was to push all of us towards the temple. Evangelicals don't like the temple. So he's not very concerned with being accepted by mainstream Christians. Also, Brad Wilcox recently gave a talk where he talked a lot about how different we are from other Christians because we have temples and we know about exaltation and we know that we're supposed to become like God and inherit everything that he has. So second of all, I don't think that they would do it all at once. I think that they would drop things here and there, like starting to say heavenly mothers in sacrament meeting. And there's also the fact that D&C 132 has never been modified, ever. It's never gone away. They've gotten rid of the Adam God theory. They've gotten rid of, race in the priesthood, and they've come out and they've denounced those things. Also, blood atonement, they've denounced all of those things. That got them a lot of bad press, but they have never once denounced polygamy. And I don't think they will, because they'll start by saying these things. Oh, Heavenly Mother is here, and, encouraging us to, study about the sanctity of marriage. And then my guess is that there will be a lot of small tweaks in the temple language where women are already, ordained to become queens and priestesses in the new and everlasting covenant marriage, and men are ordained to become kings and priests to the Most High God. So we're already very steeped in this inequality. After that, I'm sure that they'll probably encourage men to be sealed to dead women who never had the opportunity to be sealed. And then from then on, likely in secret, my guess is that it would be in secret like it was the first time, that only the second anointed, would be called to actually live it. And then once we're in the millennium, it will be a full-blown law. A full-blown irrevocable law, just like the 1886 revelation from John Taylor that they just released. So if we don't want this, which I don't, and I don't know any women in the church that really, really actually want that, we have to be loud. We have to say that we don't want this. We have to be very vocal members, and we have to be very, we have to make our will known, because we don't really have a voice at the top.
So you've heard my thoughts on the matter, you've heard Kate's, and now I want to hear yours. Let me know what you think in the comments. And once you're done there, if you want to learn more about what Mormon heaven looks like for women, click just here. And if this is the third or fourth video of mine that you've watched, then why not consider subscribing? Because you're clearly enjoying them.